Dear students, welcoming all of you to the class 4.2. The class 4.2 intends to discuss a few aspects relating to capital structure theories. Students, the very basic purpose of every capital structure decision is to maximize the value of the firm. But there is difference in opinion among the experts and authors. Some argue that capital structure decisions can affect the value of firm, while others argue that the capital structure decisions do not affect the value of the firm. As there are difference in opinion, number of theories have been designed with regard to capital structure. The important theories of capital structure are net income theory or NI approach, net operating income theory or NOI approach, traditional theory, and the fourth and last one is Modigliani and Miller theory or MM approach. Now, let us see the important assumptions upon which capital structure theories are designed. The first assumption is that there are only two sources of funds. They are perpetual debt and equity capital. The second assumption is that there are no corporate taxes, but this assumption is later removed. Thirdly, the dividend payout ratio is 100%. This means the entire amount of earnings is distributed as dividends to shareholders. Therefore, there is no retained earnings. The fourth assumption is that the investment decisions are constant. Nextly, the financing decisions are also constant. And lastly, the operating profits of the firm, that is, earnings before interest and tax or EBIT, are not expected to grow. These are the six important assumptions of capital structure theories. Now, let us see the various theories of capital structure one by one. The first one is net income theory or net income or NI approach. Net income theory was suggested by David Durant. According to net income theory, capital structure decision is relevant in the valuation of firm. The theory states that a change in debt equity mix will lead to a corresponding change in the overall cost of capital as well as in the total value of the firm. In other words, when debt component increases, the weighted average cost of capital declines and the value of firm increases. And when debt decreases, the weighted average cost of capital increases and consequently the value of the firm decreases. Now let us see how to compute the value of firm under net income approach. Under net income approach, the total market value of a firm is ascertained by adding market value of equity shares and market value of debt. That is, market value of firm is equal to market value of equity shares plus market value of debt, or V is equal to S plus D. Here V stands for market value of firm, S stands for market value of equity shares, and D denotes market value of debt. Now let us see how we can compute the value of equity shares or market value of equity shares. The market value of equity shares can be computed using the components earnings available to equity shares and cost of equity. To compute the market value of equity shares, we have to just capitalize the earnings available to equity shareholders by the cost of equity. Therefore, market value of equity shares is equal to earnings available to equity shareholders, that is net income divided by cost of equity, or EBT divided by CE. earnings before tax divided by cost of equity. Now, all of you know how to compute the market value of equity shares, okay? Then find the market value of debt. Market value of debt is normally given in the question. When we add the market value of equity and market value of debt, we get market value of the firm. Now let us see how to find weighted average cost of capital under NI approach. Under NI approach, weighted average cost of capital is equal to earnings before interest and tax divided by value of firm. Let us try to solve a problem. The question is A. A company expects an income of rupees 80,000. It has rupees 2 lakh 8% debentures. Equity capitalization rate of the company is 10%. Calculate the value of the firm and the overall capitalization rate according to the NI approach. B. If the debenture is increased to rupees 3 lakh, what shall be the value of the firm and overall capitalization rate? This is the question. Now let us examine the question in detail. A company expects an income of rupees 80,000. This means earnings before interest and tax or EBIT of the company is rupees 80,000. Okay. The company has rupees 2 lakh 8% debentures. Means the value of debentures is 2 lakh. The equity capitalization rate of the company is 10%. The equity capitalization rate means cost of equity. Okay. And we are asked to compute the value of the firm and overall capitalization rate. Overall capitalization rate means overall cost of capital or weighted average cost of capital. Students, you know the market value of the firm can be computed by adding market value of equity shares and market value of debt. And the market value of equity can be found out by capitalizing the earnings before tax by equity capitalization rate or cost of equity. Therefore, we have to find earnings before tax or EBT at first. Here the expected income or EBIT that is given in the question rupees 80,000. Amount of debentures is 2 lakh. Rate of interest is 8%. Therefore, total amount of debenture interest is 16,000. When we subtract this 16,000 from EBIT, we get rupees 64,000. This 64,000 is the earnings available to equity shareholders or net income or EPT. The equity capitalization rate or cost of equity is 10%. To find the market value of equity shares, we have to capitalize this 60,000 by the rate of cost of equity. Okay, market value of equity is equal to 64,000 divided by 10 percentage. That means 64,000 into 100 by 10. We get 6,40,000. This is the market value of equity. And market value of debt that is given in the question 2 lakh. When we add this 64, 6,40,000 and 2 lakh, we get 8,40,000. The value of the firm is 8,40,000. Now we can find out the overall capitalization rate or weighted average cost of capital. Weighted average cost of capital is equal to earnings before interest and tax divided by value of the firm. EBIT is 80,000. Value of firm is 8,40,000. Therefore, weighted average cost of capital is equal to 80,000 divided by 8,40,000. That is equal to 0.0952. Means 9.52%. This is the overall cost of capital or weighted average cost of capital or overall capitalization rate. And 8,40,000 is the value of the firm. Now let us solve the question B. Here the total amount of debentures is 3 lakh. Earnings before interest and tax, that is 80,000 given in the question. Now, the interest on debentures is to be deducted from 80,000. Here, as the debenture amount is 3 lakh and the rate of interest is 8%, so total amount of debenture interest 24,000. When we deduct 24,000 from earnings before interest and tax, we get rupees 56,000. This is earnings before tax or net income, or this is the earnings available to equity shareholders. Equity capitalization rate or cost of equity is 10%. To find the market value of equity shares, we have to capitalize this net income 56,000 by 10% cost of equity. Okay, market value of equity is equal to 56,000 divided by 10 percentage, or 56,000 into 100 by 10 is equal to 5,60,000. Therefore, market value of equity shares is 5,60,000. Market value of debt that is given in the question rupees 3 lakh. When we add these two, we get value of firm 8 lakh 60,000. 8 lakh 60,000 is the value of the firm. Now we can find out the weighted average cost of capital. Weighted average cost of capital is equal to EBIT divided by value of firm. Here EBIT is 80,000 and value of firm is 8 lakh 60,000. Therefore, weighted average cost of capital is equal to 0.093, means weighted average cost of capital is equal to 9.30%. Okay, here the weighted average cost of capital is 9.3 and value of firm is 8 lakh 60,000. And when debenture amount was 2 lakh, debenture value, market value of debentures is 2 lakh, the total market value of firm was 8 lakh 40,000 only. But the overall cost of capital was 9 lakh 52, 9.52%. Okay, see the difference. When debt component increases, the weighted average cost of capital decreases and the value of firm increases. Okay, dear students, let us wind up the class 4.2 here. Study well. Thank you. Have a nice day.